This is a very special review for me. Number one, this is a film franchise that I've been a part of since I was a little kid. It involves two of some of my favorite entertainers of all time. It's also the very last review in my current place that Movie Files started all here, and I'm in the midst of moving. So you got that. You got a film franchise that I've been a part of since I was a kid. Was this movie any good? Well, we're going to talk about that and much more. Bad Boys for Life. Through an assassination attempt on Mike Lowrey, he and Marcus Burnett decide to work together one last time to bring down a mysterious assassin with a link to Mike's past. What's going on, everybody? Elliot here from Movie Files, doing my last review of my current place that started it all back in 2017. But we're here to talk about Bad Boys for Life, Bad Boys 3, a franchise that I have been a fan of since 95, all the way to 2003, and now fast forward to 17 years later, we are talking about the third film in the franchise. Very excited to share my non-spoiler review with you all. But before we dive into it, for those that are new to this channel, what are we all about here at Movie Files? Well, we review the latest movies, we review the latest TV shows, we do unboxings for new Blu-rays, and we also do giveaways to show our appreciation to you all. So if that sounds like something you would like, definitely hit that subscribe button and make sure you're hitting that notification bell so you can stay up to date with all that content. And if and when you see Bad Boys for Life, I want to know what you all thought of this film. Did it surpass the first two? Is it kind of at the bottom of the ranks for you? What did you think about this movie? Let's have some fun discussions in the comments below. So starting off with the positives here in this spoiler-free review. Boy, did I miss seeing these two together on the big screen. I have grown up with Martin. I have grown up with Will Smith. Their shows back in the 90s were honestly some of my favorite shows of all time, if I'm being honest with you. I've seen all the episodes of both Martin's show and The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and I've watched their careers in movies, and they're just two of some of my favorite entertainers. And when you see these two on screen together, it's like they didn't miss a beat. Even from 17 years ago, Martin and Will Smith, or I should say Marcus and Mike Lowrey, are back together. And I love that the chemistry's still there. Even though we've had this kind of Toy Story length of time between films 2 and 3, it's still awesome to see these two on screen. The chemistry, they don't miss a beat. I think that this movie actually benefited from that gap between part 2 and part 3 because it played into the story. You know, it's 17 years later. These guys have been police officers and have been partners for over 25 years. And I love that they put that element into the story from 1 all the way to 3. And definitely from 2 to 3. So I love that played an aspect in this film. And you can tell that brotherhood is still there. You can tell that they still have that ride together, die together theme. And I love that aspect about this film, that you just didn't miss a beat between Marcus and Mike. Will Smith, as far as characters go, he's doing his Will Smith thing. He's doing his Mike Lowrey type of thing in this film. And I love when Will Smith gets to play this character because, again, I've grown up with Will. So I've seen him come up kind of in the ranks in regards to he sometimes play a certain character where he doesn't do the cursing. He doesn't do the over-the-top violence, but not Mike Lowrey. Mike Lowrey goes in, he curses, he swears, he's saying everything outside of, a couple of words, maybe not in the dictionary, but I like when he gets to have fun with this character because you can tell he just kind of lets the reins go and has a great time with his co-partner, his co-star, Martin Lawrence. But in regards to Mike Lowrey, I actually like the character arc that we get with Mike Lowrey. He's not he's coming to realizing how old he is, where he's at in his life. He might have missed some opportunities to kind of grow a family, and I like that this movie kind of touched on. And Mike Lowrey, he's the man of steel in some senses, but this film kind of brought him back down to reality, and I like that kind of aspect. And I like the character development and the character arc that we got with Will Smith's character. But the person that always seems to steal the movie for me personally, and it probably goes to the fact that I actually personally like Martin's show more than I do Fresh Prince, which I don't know a lot of people say that, but I love Martin Lawrence, and I haven't seen him in a film in like over 9 years. I didn't see that movie last year, Beach Bum, but it's been over 8 or 9 years since I saw Martin Lawrence, and what a joy it was to see him back playing Marcus. He stole every scene to me because, again, he plays into the part of, hey, Mike and Marcus, we're in our mid-50s now. We can't be doing the stuff we did 17 years ago, 25 years ago, and I love that. And what I love about Marcus' character is he's always kind of the audience in a sense. He kind of realizes the ridiculousness of Mike Lowrey, of all the situations they're in, and I love Martin Lawrence's character, Marcus, in this film, and his relationship to his family, and obviously his relationship with the lieutenant, and obviously with Mike Lowrey, and I just really enjoyed seeing Martin in this role, and it looks like he's having a blast, and it's just so cool to see him back on the big screen. It almost kind of brings me to the same effect I had to seeing Eddie Murphy in Dolomite Was My Name and seeing him on SNL. It's like when you see those greats getting back into things they love, and I hope that we get more Martin Lawrence in the future, whether it be this film franchise or other film franchises. I love Martin Lawrence, and I thought that he was just great in this film. And personally, like I said, I thought that he outshined everyone in this film, and he really stole all the scenes for me personally. One of the things that also stood out to me was this new task force they brought into the element. Normally, when you have these older franchises that have been around for a while, they try to inject some new life to the franchise. And whenever they do that, the characters don't seem to mix well with the older characters. The tone might be off, their jokes might be don't land correctly. But I thought that the new cast, I thought that the cast was casted well. Vanessa Hudgens, I thought, fit in well. She was the only one of those 3 or 4 new cast members that I thought, was the most one that was recognizable. But I thought that they fit well with Marcus and Mike, and they definitely had a good feel within this film. They didn't feel like they were miscast or misplaced in the film. I really like this new task force, and of course, you got Martin, you got Will Smith. It's funny as hell. This film is hilarious. So transitioning into my cons here. You got some new directors. Michael Bay was not a part of this film, even though he may or may not have been a part of it in some sense. I won't talk about that, but the directors definitely tried to pay homage to Michael Bay and his action sequences, but they did not work for me. It's not that the action was bad, especially the third act. I thought the action sequence in that moment was pretty legit, but there's a particular scene that was stuck out like a sore thumb for me, and it's the scene that involves a club, some green screen. It was raining one moment. Like literally it was raining in this scene, and the next cut, it was no rain. It was just kind of just weirdly paced. The CGI was bad. They tried to do some Gemini Man CGI with Will Smith's face, and I was just like, whoa, this is like, I don't want to say amateur, but this was like, they should have had someone else come in to direct those action sequences because they fell kind of flat. I know what they were going for, because if you've seen Bad Boys 1 and Bad Boys 2, Michael Bay takes it to the 10th degree. The Bayisms are there in the first 2 Bad Boys, especially Bad Boys 2, when they're going down that town in Rio or Mexico. I mean, Michael Bay goes all out with action. We all know that. And I feel like these directors just didn't have a good sense of that type of action. They tried to copy that, and they did not copy it well at all, in my opinion. The first half has some pacing issues. It almost felt like the Martin Lawrence and Will Smith were almost not in as many scenes as I would have liked them in the first half, and that kind of affected that first half pacing for me personally. And then the biggest thing outside of the action sequences not really landing, there's a particular character that has a really big twist in the film. I won't mention what twist it is, obviously, and there were some really legit surprises in this film for me personally, close to the beginning of the film and close to the middle of the film, but there's a big twist in the movie that did not work at all. I didn't feel like it was earned, it wasn't justified, and there's a particular switch, and the switch happens really quick. I did not like the twist. I'm just going to leave it at that. When you see the film, you'll know what I'm talking about. But overall, guys, I'm a legit fan of this franchise. I love Bad Boys 1 and 2. I put Bad Boys and kind of Rush Hour kind of on the top for me when it comes to buddy cop films. Of course, I have a Lethal Weapon and the First 48 and all those movies, but Rush Hour and Bad Boys have a special spot for me in my heart, and I really enjoyed this film. Again, I have Will Smith. I got Martin Lawrence in a film yet again. I love seeing them on the big screen, and I'm glad to see them back in action. And even though the first half had some pacing issues, there's a little bit of plot hole issues. There's a character moment and a twist that I was not on board with. I still enjoyed myself in this film, and I would say, overall, I'm going to give this film a solid 3.5 out of 5. This, in the standard terms of a January film, that's an excellent masterpiece if you ask me, but 3.5 out of 5. I recommend you all checking it out. If you're a fan like me of the franchise, I think you'll have a good time with this film. Even if you haven't seen 1 or 2, I think you'll still appreciate this film, and I had a really good time with this movie, and I can't wait to add it to my Bad Boys collection. So 3.5 out of 5. Maybe we'll get another one in the future, maybe 10 years, who knows, but I really enjoyed myself with this film. So that's my review. Give this video a thumbs out, really helps out the channel. Comment below what you thought of this film. Like I said up top, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and hit that bell so you can stay up to date with my content. And coming soon, I got my Servant, Apple TV Plus show Servant, the season finale. I have my review coming up pretty soon. Sex Education 2, season 2 on Netflix is coming pretty soon, so I will be reviewing that. And then on Sunday, I'll have my most anticipated films of 2020. Goodbye to my place here that started Movie Files. This is my last review here. I will be moving to a new place Thursday and Friday, so I'll be packing and loading up the stuff. So I'm gonna miss this place. I know you guys are gonna miss this blank wall, right? You could just build anything on it. You could just put your imagination here, what you want to see on this backdrop. So I'm hoping to maybe have some different things in my backdrop when I'm moving to my new place, but I'm going to miss this place, guys. So again, thank you all for watching this review. Keep an eye out for all those videos I just mentioned. You all are great. I love this place, but I'm excited to start some new stuff in my new place. So there you have it. That's my review. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.